Alright, I am back and I'm going over my entire neutral card review with you guys. Alright, so let's just start the best card in all the neutrals, the elephant in the room, Abominable Lieutenant. Alright, this card should not be arena. I kind of went off on the introduction. I don't really need to explain why. I already did it in the introduction here. Just the ability that it can eat any card, that it's a persistent effect, that this card can grow. Like, it's just way too powerful for arena. It has no business being in arena. Alright, so if I go down here, by the way, I'm going to be doing the legendaries along with these just for this. So there's no 6-star cards, but there is a 5-star card, and that is Ivus, Lord of the Forest. So right here, so Ivus the Forest Lord. Battlecry, spend the rest of your mana and gain +2/+2 Rush, Divine Shield, or Taunt at random for each. So what this basically means is that it can gain Rush, Divine Shield, and Taunt, and after it does that, it's always going to gain +2/+2. So the only reason this is not a 6-star card is because of the RNG involved. So, like, if you get all of the, like, you play this on turn 7, and you get this Rush for 2, 3, 4, and then you gain +6/+6. This is like a Silius. Let me pull him up here. Oops, no, not you. Stupid Harp son. Okay, I forget. There is a genie. There's a 7-mana card for neutrals that can gain Rush, Divine Shield, Taunt, and Wind Fury on its own. Let me see if I can find. So it's not Silas. I forget which one it is. Okay, Siamet. Gain 2 of Rush, Taunt, Divine Shield, and Wind Fury, your choice. So, Imus gains Rush, Taunt, and Divine Shield. Doesn't get the Wind Fury, so it can't hit 2 things. But you can see it's a better version of that. Except if the RNG does not necessarily go in your favor. And that's like the one thing that's holding me back from saying it's a completely broken card. In that, like, if the RNG screws you over, if you need the Rush and you don't get the Rush, then you're in trouble. Like, if you need the Taunt and for whatever reason you don't get the Taunt, even though you get a giant minion, you're in trouble. And that's ultimately like my problem with the card. So I have it 5 stars, really, really powerful. The RNG kind of holds it back from what its actual value is going to be. Most of the time, it's going to be a 6-star card. All right. So go down here from 4-star cards. So we got a bunch of them here. So I will run through these pretty quickly here. All right. 4-star card. I'll go right here because I know. Okay, first one here. Knight Captain. Battlecry, deal 3 damage. Honorable Kill, gain +3/+3. So by itself, it's a Waste Warden, 3 mana, deal 3 damage. Doesn't have like the kill all the minions with it, like all the tri-mechanic things with it, but that's fine. Honorable Kill, gain +3/+3. On 5, and this is the key thing, on 5, I don't think that's going to happen enough. Now, realistically, I think it's going to be strong. I think it's going to be, there's a lot of times where it's just going to be a fire elemental. So I think it is going to go off. I just don't think it's going to go off reliably enough to be like a completely broken card. I think it's going to be a good card, but I don't think, as I said, I think it's going to be a good card, but I don't think it's going to be a broken card. So I would say just a 4-star card. Next one, I also talked about this one. If I move down here, Bunker Sergeant. Bunker Sergeant. So I compared it to Twilight Flamecaller. Twilight Flamecaller would also be a 4-star card. Like, the extra 2 health really doesn't matter because so much of the power is banked into the effect. So the reason, the key thing with this is that Twilight Flamecaller was in Mage, and Mage already has a ping. So Mage did not necessarily need a second ping. But there are other classes that do not have easy access to a ping, that just having this card will be so much more powerful for them. And so that's where I'm really high on this card compared to Flamecaller. So as I said, really good card, 4-star card there. That's fine. All right, next card. I also mentioned this as one of my power creep cards, Troll Centurion. It's an 8 mana 8/8 rush. Like, that's all needs to be said. The honorable kill. The reason this honorable kill exists is because of Morarch Felchfiend. This card exists to say fuck you to every single Morarch Felchfiend that gets played. I think. Yeah. Someone plays a Morarch Felchfiend, you say fuck you, you play Troll Centurion, you wipe that off, you ignore whatever death rattle they get from there. And this card, it gets picked a lot. It's not necessarily the best card, but it's like one of the only good big cards you have, so people pick it. So, anyways, Troll Centurion, 4-star card. Like, we know what the effect is. There isn't really that much that needs to be said about that. All right. Move this down here. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I forgot that this had... I was looking at my phone here. Okay. Locarly the Ice Lord. Locarly the Ice Lord is 10 mana here. 10 mana Russian Wind Fury costs 5 less if you have 15 health or less. So by itself, like 10 mana 8/8 Rush Wind Fury, my first thought with this was something like a Dark Moon Rabbit. It's kind of like a Dark Moon Rabbit where you can control it more. Like, you don't need the minions to be adjacent. And honestly, I'm not factoring in the making it a 5 mana 8/8 Rush Wind Fury, because if you have this on turn 10, you just kind of play it on turn 10. Like, unless you're really, really damaged. Like, now, this can turn games. It definitely will turn games on turn 5 if you get this out for 5. But I'm saying most of the value, I'm banking it as a 10 mana 8/8 Rush Wind Fury, and that by itself would be a 4-star card. And this is just like a really annoying bonus for the edge cases where this comes out. Okay, the other thing is that usually if you're playing this, you're not going to have that many cards left, so there's a chance that the mana discount may not actually matter. All right, next card here I talked about, so Frantic Hippogriff. So what I find interesting about the Frantic Hippogriff is that they printed this card with Knight Captain. There are 2 cards in the same set that have the same effect, basically. Deal 3 damage, and then if you honorable kill, you gain something. That gains +3/+3. This gains Wind Fury. Wind Fury means you can go ahead and attack another small thing. So, is that as good as +3/+3? No, but again, still a pretty good card. That's a 4-star card. All right. Other cards. These are the power creep cards I talked about. So, Ram Commander. Okay, not much needs to be said. It's a fine card on 2. It gives you multiple pings. Those Rams, especially in Hunter and Druid, they matter because they get buffs. Paladin gets buffs. They can use that. Demon Hunter, I pointed out earlier, they have the +1 attack on the Ram for all their minions, so they can combo that. So there's like Druid probably really wants this card. Just because they got a buff that buffs beasts as well. So overall, very good card, as I said, 4-star card. And then the last 4-star card I've got here, Piggyback Imp. So as I mentioned, it pretty much free kills any 3-drop you put on the board and leaves something behind. It's a lot better than previous cards like Cursed Disciple and Divine Rager, because it's a lot more difficult to get 2 pings to kill something for 3 mana than it is for 4. So because of that, I think it's a lot better than those, and I think it is itself a 4-star card. Now we go to 3-star cards here. All right, first one, Spammy Arcanus, which is lower than probably what I would imagine a lot of people would think. So 5 mana, 3/4 with basically its Battlecry's Defile. That sounds insane. That really does sound insane. Except we go over to Warlock. Class cards. Let's see. Let's try. Okay, deck 1 right here. Let's try to find Defile. Oops, wrong way. Here. So Defile, it's kind of like it's sandwiched between Shady Bartender and Void Terror. I mean, those are good cards. they aren't really great cards. This is what the file is. Like, you remember the insane defiles. You remember the defiles that completely clear the board, and you completely forget about the fact that the file, the majority of the time, is really not that good. It wipes your own board too. So it's the same thing here. Like, yes, people are going to be super upset when this wipes your entire board. Like, but the situations where it comes up, they are really not that much. And I think another thing with the file is that the file needs setup. You need to like plan around it, and you need to do a lot of trading. And having to spend 3 extra mana to get that defile effect is, it's not worth it sometimes. Like, I think it can't. People are going to rage about this card, but I do think it is not really as good as a lot of people may think it is. All right, Bloodguard. Let's do this. Okay, Bloodguard. Okay, right here. Bloodguard. 5 mana, 4/7. Those are really good stats. When a minion takes damage, give your minions +1 attack. So I was talking before in the intro, attack buffs. This thing does that. So I compare it to a nesting rock. And the question is, what's more valuable? A taunt on a 4/7 or giving minions plus attack when this takes damage? And I'm inclined to think the taunt is better. Mainly because number one, you need to have other minions on the board for this to buff. Number two, you need to have something you want to trade this into to buff the other minions. And then your opponent, they can do things. They can trade off the other minions. They can, if they have any hard removal, they can use that on this. And so I think like there's ultimately a cap on how effective a card like this without any initiative can be. So that's why it's only here. It's only in the 3-star category. Tower Sergeant. Okay, Tower Sergeant is, I believe, no, not that one. See? When I see the card, I will remember. Okay, this one. All right. Because there's a few cards I don't know. I know most of them from name now, from memory on name. But this one, it was one of those ones. Okay. Anyway, Battlecry, if you control at least 2 other minions, gain +2/+2. That's going to happen quite a bit. So this is going to be a 4 mana 6/6. On curve, probably not. And in the mid to late game, when this happens, it's not as devastating of an effect. So that's why it's 3 stars. So with the Tower Sergeant, we also have cards. We know cards that are similar to this. We know Frostwolf Warlord, and we know what it can do. We know Traveling Merchant, I want to say. Yeah, Traveling Merchant, the 3 mana 2/3. So we know what those cards can do. And we know how powerful it can be sometimes. We know how mediocre it can be sometimes. And that's why it's a 3-star. It's better than a Yeti. I'll take this over a Yeti, but I'm not going to take it over like some other buff cards, like a Merchant or a Rock. All right. Next card here, Snowblind Harpy. So this is a 67 in Mage, and then, let's see here. Oops. Okay, 1 second here. All right, Snow. Oh, here it is, 3/4. Okay. It's a 3 mana 3/4 with a bonus if you're holding a Frost spell. Mage and Shaman, they'll have Frost spells. I'm not sure how often you'll be holding it. But overall, I just think the effect, it's not really that powerful to make it a really good 3/4. So ultimately, 3-star card. All right. Next one here, Herald of Lafar. That's the one I was initially thinking of. No, not 5/4. Here. Wait for the Play Hearthstone site to catch up. There it is. Okay. 4 mana 3/5, draw Frost spell. Mage and Shamans get Frost spells. The other class, like Warrior, gets them, but they're pretty bad. You don't want to take them. So it's basically Mage, Shaman. If you have a Frost spell, take this. It's valued higher for them because they probably will. The other classes are not, and it's just mediocre for those classes. All right. Ice Revenant, I covered. It's a Yeti. You have to actually cast the Frost spell. Mages might be able to do this. Shamans might be able to do this with Wind Chill. Other classes won't. So for them, and otherwise it's a Yeti. So I don't put that much value in the ability to cast with this alive. So again, it's a 3-star card, kind of like a Yeti. All right. Next one here. Sneaky Scout. I mentioned that one before. So 2 mana, 3/2 stealth. That's a 3-star. That's a 3-star effect for itself. Honorable Kill. Your next hero power costs 0. Like, useful, I want to say. It's not like really game breaking or anything like that. So it'd be like a high 2-star card with the effect. The Honorable Kill bumps it up to a 3-star card. Next one, Korok the Blood Rager. This is a card. This is another 4 mana card, and this is pretty much the failsafe for Honorable Kill. If Honorable Killing is easy, Korok is going to be mediocre. If Honorable Killing is difficult, Korok is going to be insane. I think in Arena, it's going to be pretty easy. I give value in the cases where you get to trade Korok off so you can resurrect it like that. So I think overall it is a good card. It's above average, but it's not something that's going to break the game. So ultimately, 3-star card. Next one here, Dire Wolf Commander. 1 second here. Three mana, 2/5 Honorable Kill. Summon a 2/2 Wolf with Stealth. 3 mana, 2/5s. They're okay. The Honorable Kill effect, like because it's 5 health for 3 mana, it's going to live, and you can do things enough to manipulate it where this can get the Wolf with Stealth. So I think it's okay. I don't think it's great. I think it's about a Yeti level, so that would be right around a 3-star card. All right, Corporal. In a second here. So this is one I was remembering here. Honorable Kill, give your other minions Divine Shield. So the Honorable Kill factor, really, really powerful. We've seen this in Paladin, Sea Cloud Buckler, Imprisoned Celestial. Like, really powerful cards that give all your other minions Divine Shield. We know how strong that is. The problem is, it's a 2 mana, 2/3. And your opponent has got to leave it alive so it can Honorable Kill something. And your opponent probably isn't going to be able to do that. Early game, you play this, your opponent is going to be smart enough. They're probably not going to play something to kill this and give your guy Divine Shield if they can avoid it. So it's good. Like I said, it's good that the effect is really powerful, but I don't trust that the effect is going to go off or people are going to let it go off enough to justify it. So for that, I would only say it's a 3-star card. All right. We move down. Cobalt Taskmaster. Okay. Second. Where are you? This is kind of like a better Banana Buffoon, and Banana Buffoon's a playable card. So this doesn't give the buffs to your opponent, but gives it to you. So if you've got any classes that have buffs for spells, you can play this. If you need buffs for trades, you can play this. So I think this is a good card. I think it's right around Yeti level. I think that's a 3-star card. Okay, we go down, continuing. 2-star cards. Stormpike Marshal. These are about the average cards. All right. I could be underestimating how much the effect is going to go off. I don't think it's going to go off that much. I don't think at the point in the game where you can get this down as a 1 mana 2/6 that it's going to be all that it's going to change games or anything like that. I think this will be annoying, certainly. But I think it's ultimately just going to be a little bit better than a Stegodon. So 2 stars. All right. Next one here. Popsicooler. 1 second. Three mana, 3/3, Death Rattle, freeze 2 random enemy minions. So here's the issue. Number 1, it's a 3 mana, 3/3, which means it gets killed pretty easily. Number 2, if you play this in the early game, you're probably not going to get the effect to go off. So you're going to have to play this in the mid to late game And that's kind of like where the problem, because I know the freeze effect is powerful, but I'm not sure how reliable it's going to be, how controllable it's going to be. So I don't trust this card to be really that good. I think it's definitely better than 3/3, but I don't think like the effect is enough to like make it a really above average card. So 2 stars. Next one here, Gnome Private. Gnome Private, it's 1 mana 1/3. Honorable kill, gain +2 attack. That's a worse version of like a Warbot. So again, 2-star card. Like it's not, the honorable kill is probably not going to go off or matter. All right, move this down. Grimtotem Bountyhunter. So you don't see legendary minions. So number one, you don't really see that many legendary minions. Number two, even if you do see them, a lot of their value is banked into like a Battlecry or something like that. So the destroy effect is kind of not, like it doesn't counter them. It's not a big game hunter. Now, 3 mana 4/2 is still playable, so that's why it's a 2-star card. Maybe like if there's like a Descent of Dragons and people are running dragons around, this thing becomes more powerful. But ultimately, I don't think the effect is really going to be all that impactful. Iron Hoof Protector. Oops, sorry. Ice Hoof Protector. Sorry. Yeah, I know what that one is. All right. 6 mana, 2/10 taunt, freeze any character damaged by this minion. We've had Voodoo Hexer before. We know that this is really, it's mediocre. So, like, it's got a lot of health. It'll freeze things. That's fine. It's a 2-star card. All right. Next one here. Storm Pike Commander. Not command. I think I meant Quartermaster here. Give me a second here. Let me check something because I don't think I meant that. I think I meant Quartermaster. Yeah, I typed Commander for some reason. I meant Quartermaster here. So I don't know why I did that. Okay. Change my document. All right. Anyway, so yeah, it's this card right here. Like there's you're not gonna have enough spells. You're not gonna be able to really take advantage of it. Maybe you get the Cobalt things. Maybe you get the coin. Like I'm just down on this card. I think it's a little bit worse than like an average 2 mana 2/3 or 3/2. So for me, 2-star card, like a lower version of that. Reflecto Engineer. Pull that up. You just I don't know why the effect is there. Like it's kind of a cool effect, maybe, but you can't really control it. Like you don't know how it's going to impact your opponent. You don't really know enough about it. So I can't really be high on that. I think it's a 2-star card. All right, move down. Frostwolf War. Oops, down here. Frostwolf War Master. What you can do is you can coin this, and you can play it on turn 3. So, what you can do, you can turn 2. You play the coin, and you will get a 2 mana 3/3. Yeah, 2 mana 3/3. Think about how strong that is. You with the coin, 2 mana for 3/3 of stats. All right. So yeah, it's not going to work in the early game. You're not going to have the cards. If you somehow like again, like you need some like innervates or things like that you're not going to get in the mid to late game. By the time it goes out, like it's not going to matter if it's 1 mana or 0 mana. So yeah, it's a 2-star card. It's a low 2-star card. And then finally, we've got 3 here. First one, Humongous Owl. Seven mana, 8/4, Death Rattle, deal 8 damage to a random enemy. We know the Death Rattle effect is mediocre, but it's still 8 damage. And I'm ultimately left here and I'm saying, if I need a big card, maybe I take this thing. Maybe it kills something big. Maybe it goes face. Maybe there's a chance it works. Is it going to work? No. But this is just like right on the edge of, okay, I'm not happy taking this card, but there's a chance this card will work, and that's why it's a 2-star card. And then finally, there are the twin legendaries here. Here's the thing. I would be willing to bet they're not going to be in Arena. Here, Vandar and Drekthar, because you cannot build your deck around this effect. Like, you cannot build your deck around this effect. And even if you can, so it's just going to be a 4-mana 4/4, and you don't want a 4-mana 4/4. So that's 2 stars. All right. Going down here, 1-star cards. What have we got? We've got Gangster. 1 second. So Gangster Stealth. After your opponent plays a minion, attack it. This is Snipe. So it's Snipe. We know how Snipe is. Snipe is a 1-star card. This is a 1-star card. Doesn't really need to be said. Iron Deep Trog. It will appear. Where is it? Yeah. Why can I not find the Iron Deep Trog? There it is. After your opponent casts a spell, summon a copy of this. Maybe you're Paladin, you put a Blessing of Kings on this, and your opponent can't clear it with spells. Maybe you're a Priest, maybe you're a Druid, you do a buff with it, you do that. I don't think that's worth it. I think it's like really, really situational. That to me is 1-star effect. Legionnaire. Legionnaire, that is a worse. Here. When you're a worse arena fanatic, that's just sad. But it's a lot of staffs for a buff that at that point in the game is not going to make up for spending 6 mana to do nothing. So yeah, bad card. Like barely pickable at all. It is better though than 1 card. It is better than 1 card. And that 1 card is a card. Flavor-wise, I love it. Arena-wise, I'm never going to pick it. Frozen Mammoth. So maybe you're a mage. Maybe you've got frost spells. Maybe, or sorry, not frost, you got fire spells. Maybe you can unfreeze this. That's a possibility. Maybe you're a shaman. You get a couple fire spells. You can unfreeze it. That's a possibility. Overall, you're not going to be able to unfreeze it. It's unpickable. Do not pick the card. All right. And that is it for the neutrals. So, just because it takes a lot longer for me to go class by class, I'm going to run through classes like 3 or 4 at a time. So next one I'm going to do is going to be Demon Hunter, Druid, and Hunter, and probably Mage. I'll probably do 4 of those to start off with. So I'm going to make some tea, and then I will see you guys then. So next video. See you guys.